try to do this video really quick on solving quadratics. Sometimes it's just a matter of using square roots and just doing a little bit of simple algebra first. So I guess let me start off by saying this. A lot of times when I look at a problem like this, I realize that students are getting confused because they've been trained for so long. If they see something outside of parentheses, they want to distribute it in. But I want to remind you guys that if the exponent over the quantity is anything other than 1, you can't do that, right? Because the exponent is blocking this. So what you can do, and what I tell my students to do, is look at it this way. I look at this b minus 8 here as if it was just x. So now it's like looking at 1/4 x squared equals 7. And from there, hopefully, you realize that what you would do is you'd multiply by the reciprocal to get rid of that number here. So what I want this to be is a 1, so I'm going to multiply this by its reciprocal, which is 4 over 1. And if you look at that, 4 times 1 is 4, 1 times 4 is 4, 4 over 4 is 1, and that's what we want. Remember, though, the multiplicative rule of equality says if you multiply one side of an equation by a number, you have to multiply the other side by the same number. I'm going to multiply by 4, but just so you know, it is the same 4 over 1, and this is 7 over 1, so it doesn't change anything. This goes to 1, and we have b minus 8, the quantity squared, is now equal to 28, isn't it? Now you can look at this thing, again, looking at it as if what you had was this. Now look at this as if you still had this x squared here. And if you were going to, I think most of you guys, when you think about that, you realize what you would do here is you would take the square root of both sides, wouldn't you? You take the square root of this. Well, the square root of b minus 8 quantity squared is just b minus 8, isn't it? And the square root of 28 is, as well as the square root of 28. The only problem with that is that the square root of 28 can be simplified a little bit, right? We know that if we do this, if these two radicands, the two numbers inside of here, if they multiply to give us this product, if 4 times 7 is actually equal to 28, and it is, then we can do this. And the square root of 4 is 2, so we have 2 square roots of 7. So what we have here is b minus 8 equals 2, why do I always do that? Square roots of 7, 2 square roots of 7 here, right? And then from here, we just solve by adding 8 to both sides, and we get b is equal to 2 square roots of 7 plus 8. Now remember that we have to do it the other way also, because the square root of a number is a plus or minus. So we'd also say or b is equal to, or and b is equal to the opposite of 2 square roots of 7 plus 8. And those are our two numbers. All right? I hope this is helpful. You know what, let's do one more problem really, really quickly and see if we can't make some sense of this. This one, let's do this one. Take 2r minus 5 quantity squared is equal to 81. All right, so hopefully what you're seeing here is this. You're seeing that there's this square here. And hopefully, again, what you're doing is the thing that I suggested, which is pretending that this whole inside piece is just x. So we have x squared, and asking ourselves the question, how would we undo the square of a number? And to undo that, we would take the square root of that, wouldn't we? So to undo this, we take the square root of that thing. And the square root of 2r minus 5 squared is actually just 2r minus 5 is equal to, and of course the square root of 81 is either positive 9 or negative 9. Why is that true? Because negative 9 times negative 9 is positive 81. And also positive 9 times positive 9 is equal to positive 81. So those are our solutions. So when we solve, we're going to solve the first one. This is what I'm solving for now. I'm saying plus 9, and I'm going to add 5 to both sides. So I'm going to get 2r is equal to 9 minus 5. I'm sorry. 9 plus 5, right? 9 plus 5. And then we divide both sides by 2, right? So we get r is equal to 9 plus 5 is 14. So 14 divided by 2 is 7. Or 2r minus 5 is equal to negative 9, right? We add 5 to both sides, so plus 5 to both sides, and we get 2r is equal to negative 4. Divide both sides by 2 and get r equals negative 2. Isn't that right? And it is. So our possible answers are -7, -2 or +7. Okay, hope it was helpful. Keep working, and hopefully you're subscribed.